walks down the street, he said,
Welcome back to Double Al. This is our first week of the playoff recap, both the playoffs and the ladder of sadness. I'm Al, that's Al, and today our sponsor is Peppermint Bark Rum Chata, again, within my hot chocolate.
Are you a fan of the choice that you made to wear that eye mask?
Yeah.
Okay. Also brought to you by Summer Shandy.
Nice line and Googles, huh?
Yeah, it's all I have in my fridge right now. Although, wonderful sponsor. Really, really happy for their involvement in the show.
I know they're usually a package deal, but do you prefer line or Kugel more?
I'm going to go with Kugel.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead and take us to the first slide here. Oh, why is my head spinning? My head's bouncing away.
All right, so Jeff played Bobby this week in the first round of the playoffs.
I'm not going to talk about that.
We are talking about Jeff. Jeff pretty much put away one of the best performances of the year, 162 points against Bobby's quite pedestrian 118, sending him into the next round of the playoffs. Great game by Jeff.
A great game by Jeff, yeah, proving himself to be a formidable opponent this playoffs. If you look down his team, not a ton of underperformances, and you're going to usually see that when you score 162 points. It's going to be pretty much a team effort. But you can see the two quote unquote underperformances that really stand out are Joe Mixon and Austin Eckler. And even then, if 15 and 10 is what you're getting from your underperformances, I think you're going to be happy with that.
Agreed. Yeah. And on Bobby's side, a lot of underperformances all around. Aaron Rodgers needed to put up a career game, a world record breaking game on Monday night for Bobby to win, and it just didn't happen. 0 points from his tight end, 4 points from the kicker, 10 points from his quarterback. Altogether, pretty mediocre score in the playoffs.
Very mediocre playoff score. You'd think that after fighting this hard to get here, that his team probably would have taken a little more pride in the fact that they were a playoff team, but they kind of just rolled over and died. So,
yeah, and I mean, how is anyone going to beat Jeff this year? His team looks so good.
It's looking tough. I think, yeah, it's going to definitely be tough.
Yeah, so the only, I guess, he'll be playing Pranav. Pranav had a bye week this previous week. The only glimmer of hope that Pranav has is, one, his team's really good.
Probably very good.
Probably the second best team behind Jeff. So this.
Oh, nice.
So Pranav has two glimmers of hope going into the next game. He will be playing Jeff in the next round of the playoffs. Number one, he has one of the best teams, probably team number two behind Jeff. So this might be the game of the year. This might be for the championship almost. Although we won't discount the other side of the bracket, but this will be an important game. The other glimmer of hope that he has is George Kittle was on Manningcast this week, Monday Night Manning, and there was a curse last year. I don't know if that curse still exists, but there was a curse. So
yeah, George Kittle, 25 points this week for Jeff. That's really good. He's gonna. I don't know. With Jeff, he's like the one team that George Kittle is on where you're like, he doesn't really need Kittle to like be the elite version of Kittle.
Kittle could not have played in this game and he would have still beat Bobby.
Yeah. So like that's kind of one thing is that Jeff doesn't really need George Kittle to be the elite George Kittle, but if he gets the elite George Kittle, I don't see him losing.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Great job, Jeff.
Hopefully for Pranav, George Kittle does in fact have the Manning cast curse.
This might be the first time I've ever seen this, but every single one of the players on Jeff's team, they all won their games. It's dubs all down the status.
Yeah.
Of course it is, right? All right. And our other playoff game we had this week was Joey versus Zane. And Zane just barely made it into the playoffs by winning the last 2 weeks. Put together I say barely. He did win his division, but probably the least competitive division out of all three. and he could not put up a performance to beat Joey's 132, which is actually a pretty decent score.
Yeah, 132 will win you a lot of games. You hate to see Zane not even scoring 100 in the playoffs. Anytime that happens, you're a little disappointed. But Zane's team all season has been very hot and cold, and he ran into a cold streak. And now he started Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So apparently
Well,
Owen dropped Deshaun Watson. Zane picks him
after
up.
after we put the pressure on Owen last week when I texted him asking for a comment and he refused to comment, he must have realized that he was in fact doing the wrong thing and he dropped him.
I'll ask Zane for comment right now.
Please do. I will go ahead and look at the rest of Zane's scoring. Really nothing note besides Travis Kelce's 20.5. Other than that, it's just a bunch of sad numbers that you see on Zane's team. Looking at Joey, Jalen Hurts had a great game. The Bears defense made sure that he had a nice, easy walk into the end zone at least once. David Montgomery, Joey, you're welcome. I'm telling you that trade was good for you. 24 points. Jalen Waddle, 20 points. T. Higgins, a nice little 16 down there in the flex. So that was definitely enough to power his team to a victory over Zane's measly score.
Absolutely. We'll see if we get comment back from Zane on his starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, if he stands for everything Deshaun stands for. On the topic of Joey's team, Jalen Hurts, his starting quarterback, might not be starting this upcoming week, which would be a huge issue for Joey.
I feel like at this point it would be, I would say, very unlikely that Jalen Hurts starts because the Eagles are so. Have the Eagles clinched the playoffs yet? Surely, yes. Right?
Yep. They've clinched the playoffs.
Seeing as they've clinched the playoffs, they have no reason to risk it with Jalen Hurts. I would not be surprised if Gardner Minshew starts that game. I'll say it.
That could be true, yep. And fun fact for the NFC East, with the Giants beating the Commanders this week on
the Commies?
Yeah, was that Monday Night Football?
Or that was Sunday night.
Sunday Night Football. The Giants have now beat the Deadskins more than any other team has beat any team.
Yeah, well, that's just what happens when you're bad, like Washington.
And when you're amazing, like the Giants are sometimes. Now taking a look at the Ladder of Sadness games, I played Ryan in strung number 1, and I lost. I am still in contention for the Griff, sadly. Ryan, however, has saved himself with a score of 157, a very respectable score. And he doesn't have to worry for the rest of the year. He can stop playing fantasy.
Yeah, he can stop playing fantasy football. He doesn't have to pay any attention to football for the rest of the year. It's kind of a shame. Because Ryan could have taken Bobby's playoff spot, but even if he had, he still would have lost this week. So
that would have been a closer game, though. Jeff would have been sweating.
Closer game. But Ryan would have been able to go into the playoffs, say I scored 157 points and lost in round 1. Looking at his team, Trevor Lawrence had a very solid game. Ramondre Stevenson, a very good game. Justin Jefferson doing his thing, and Chris Godwin had a great game. And then when you look at your team, it wasn't bad. 128 is a pretty respectable score.
It's all right.
Dalvin Cook was really good. And besides that, everybody else was pretty much average. And that's usually enough to carry to a victory over some teams. But in this case, when Ryan puts up 157, it's going to be hard to beat that with average performances.
Yeah, so I moved down a strung on the ladder, and I'll be playing the winner of the bottom strung. We'll get to that shortly, but first we're going to have to take a look at the middle strung of the ladder. Devin versus Owen. Devin loses, and he is not safe. Owen wins, and he is safe from getting the Griff this year.
He is very safe. Owen doesn't have to worry about fantasy football anymore. He managed to start.
I'm not sure he did care for the last half of the season.
No, I probably not, and I can't say that I blame him because I was kind of on that board too. But he somehow managed to start Mac Jones and still win, and that's probably because Aaron Jones had a solid game, and so did Jamar Chase. It was very solid. DJ Moore was super solid, and Devin's team was bad. 2.3, 3.9, 6.5, 8.6. Bad game.
Pretty bad game. Pretty average game for Devin earlier in the year.
Yeah, I think in the first half of the season, Devin probably would have looked at this game and had been happy with it.
Yeah, and then second half of this regular season, he bumped it up. He stepped up his
Yeah,
game.
after he got eliminated from the playoffs, he
Yep.
became one of the best teams.
And now that the games matter again, he's back down to low scores.
Does Devin just need absolutely no stakes and he'll do well?
I think so. If he plays, is that Zonovan Knight? Is that who that is?
I believe so.
If he plays Zonovan Knight, he'll be able to cheer him on in person, and maybe that'll help him this week. But
Very true. Very true.
I think that's about all I can say about Devin's team.
Yeah.
And Owen's team doesn't matter anymore because he's safe.
Oh, Owen is safe.
And then the kicker bowl, a great kicker bowl we had
I'm
this year,
confused. I don't see any players here. What's going on?
all the way at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Graham Gano and Michael Badgley. Badgley.
Bad Glee lost his game.
I don't love Glee. I don't think it's all that good. So I guess I agree with him there. Yeah, but I guess Gano definitely the better kicker. We can officially say
He's elite, I guess.
really. I think this game deserves a little more analysis. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go into the players. So Ian underscored his players on average by 0.1 projected. Or no, he overscored. He
He
overscored.
overscored by 0.1.
6.9. He scored 7 there. That's all he really could have asked out of his kicker. And I mean, Graham Gano just had a really, really good game here.
It was very solid. I was considering up until the last moment to drop Gano and pick up Dicker the kicker, who I think is on the Chargers. But as we got closer to the Chargers game, I forgot, so I didn't pick him up. But it didn't matter because Graham Gano got 12, and I don't know what Dicker got, but it was I still won. So
I was watching this Giants game pretty closely, and I think you were tied with
yeah,
Ian.
I was tired with not a lot of time left.
Yeah, and then Graham Gano hit the game winner.
Sure did.
But that makes me think, like, if there was a tie here, what would happen?
I kind of was wondering the same thing.
Like, would it go to regular season points for, in which case Ian wins? Would it go to regular season record against each other? Do you remember if you were Ian won when you played each other this year?
I believe Ian and I played in the first week, and I believe Ian beat me.
So maybe that's the tiebreaker. I don't know what the tiebreaker is in the playoffs.
Oh man, it's kind of wild that we haven't had a situation like that.
Well, we'll see if we have any more. We'll see if we have any more kicker bowls this year. We'll see what happens.
I would be willing to maybe kicker bowl the second round of the ladder.
I will not be kicker bowling it with you.
I will be putting this challenge on the air so that people can watch and weigh in on their decision, and you can choose to look like a coward or not.
Let's go to the ladder of sadness first, because this is what everyone's here for.
If you don't want Alex to be a coward, comment below. Don't be a coward, Alex.
I'm not going to give in to peer pressure. Look, we're playing each other in the middle strung.
Your mom.
One of
Mom tells you not to be a coward. That's not peer pressure.
That's direction coming from my superior.
Yeah. What if it's your boss? What if your boss comments below, don't be a coward?
I hope no one at my place of work knows about these.
Same. I just started 2 weeks ago, so I don't see how they would. But
I put this on my resume, and it's why I got hired. This is my job.
This is my whole job. Yeah.
No, we're playing each other. The loser of that game goes to the Griff tournament. Devin and Ian are playing each other. The loser of that goes to the Griff tournament, and Ryan and Owen are safe.
Ryan and Owen, consider them safe.
Yeah, so let's make some predictions here. Let's predict the Ryan Owen game just for fun. I'm gonna give it to Ryan. He just scored 157 points.
I think I'm comfortable giving it to Ryan as well.
All right. As for the Al and Alex game,
The double L game.
the double Al game, who would have thought we would have another one?
Not me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to myself. And
new challenge.
yeah.
We only are allowed to start players from the Jets and or Jaguars.
Oh, that's okay with me. I have 4 players total on either the Jets or the Jags. How many do you have?
I think I have Zay Jones
I've been
and
sl-
actually James Robinson, but I think he's out.
I've been slowly collecting over the last 3 weeks players from the Jets, hoping I could start entirely the Jets. Sadly, his kicker or their kicker did not become available, but I will be starting Zach Wilson this week. Um, I'm starting Corey
Now the
Davis.
question is, will the Jets start Zach Wilson this week?
They are. Yeah. Mike Waite's not approved, and
Darn.
I got the Jets defense. So,
Ah, excellent.
so I'll take you up on that challenge if you want to do that.
Well, if you're going to be starting Zach Wilson this week, I'm comfortable in predicting a win for me because Zach Wilson is bad.
No, he's really gonna give it to the Jags.
He does perform well when you see him in person.
Yeah, I've never seen him lose. I've only seen him win.
You've also never seen a game in person in which Zach Wilson does not score a 50 plus yard running touchdown. So
Which would be great for fantasy.
it would be great for fantasy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna predict myself.
I'll take myself.
All right. You really don't want to lose here.
I would love to not lose. That would be ideal. Yeah.
And then Devin and Ian. That's tough. We didn't get a good look at how Ian's team is last week because he just played a kicker. But Devin really underperformed.
Devin really underperformed. Both of them are capable of big scores, and both of them are capable of big duds.
I'm going to give the win to Ian because I want to see an Allen Devin Griff Bowl.
I'm going to give the win to Ian because I want to see an Alex Devin Griff Bowl after seeing them be in the championship for so many years.
That would actually be pretty funny.
I think it would be too.
It could happen too.
But
all right, now let's take a look at the playoffs. So Jeff beat Bobby and Joey beat Zane. I think we both predicted this. Or one of us might have predicted Zane winning.
I think you did, actually. I think you did.
My mistake. So Pranov Jeff.
Yeah, maybe we both did. I don't know.
Yeah, Pranov Jeff. That's going to be the game of the week.
Yeah, but don't sleep on Joey Dom.
I won't sleep on Joey Dom.
Joey's actually a sub, but in this case, it's Joey against Dom.
Both are subs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Back to Pranov Jeff. That's a really tough game to predict. Jeff has up and down weeks as well. His highs are really high.
His lows are average.
That's true.
Yeah. His lows aren't really low. So I don't know. I think I'm standing by my original prediction of Pranov.
All right. I'm going to have to go with Jeff just based on his ability to put up really, really high scores.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
And then Joey versus Dom. Dom scored like 80 points this week.
Yeah, but he also wasn't playing, so he probably just started his scrubs.
He could have.
Let them get game reps, and then in case he needs them in next week to come in late in the game.
Mm-hmm. Who are you going to give this to?
This one's tough. This one might be harder for me to decide than the original game. I think I got to go Dom. I'm sorry. I don't know what I predict. Actually, what did I predict before? Because I might be contradicting that.
That's fine.
Who cares?
Who cares? All right, you'll go with Dom. I think I'm going to go with Joey.
Wow, you just want to contradict me tonight, I see.
I just want there to be a 5-6 Shriram Bowl. I think that'd be funny. But also, I don't know, Dom, his team doesn't do it for me. Joey's team does it for me.
Yeah, I do feel that a little.
Jalen Hurts won't be starting. I don't know who he even has backup. Dom has Josh Allen. It's a tough.
Let's see. Does Joey have any backup cubes on his bench here?
No. Let me look at the waiver wire. Gardner Minshew. He might just be playing Gardner Minshew.
Oh, he's gonna have to beat me out for that waiver claim though. So.
No, he can't. Because your team sucks.
Exactly.
He might be able to play Colt McCoy.
That would be sad to watch if Joey has to play Colt McCoy in a fantasy playoff game.
He might have to play Kenny Pickett,
That would also be sad to watch.
Russell Wilson. All really good choices. And Baker Mayfield, also a choice down there. We'll see what he ends up doing, but I'm going to stick with Joey. I think he's going to figure it out here. And then in my finals, I'll have Jeff and Joey. Jeff's going to win that. No question.
Yeah, I'm taking, because I took Pranav to beat Jeff. So I'm going to go ahead and be taking Pranav to beat Dom. I said Dom, right?
Yeah, you said Dom. Are you paying attention?
Dom.
All right. High scoring players. The battle for quarterback still kind of close, 10 points. 2 more weeks. With Jalen Hurts not playing, though, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, that race becomes a lot more important.
Yeah, and I would say that it's probably likely that if Jalen Hurts doesn't play and Mahomes and Allen do, that they will pass him.
So actually,
I'm confident in saying that.
Jeff has Patrick Mahomes. He could be making a lot more money.
And who's in 4th place in the QB race? Because what if Jalen Hurts just gets knocked out of the QB highest scoring players race altogether?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's number 4 or even how close they are. This could be a really tight race.
It could be a very tight race.
All right. For running back, not quite as tight. Eckler in the lead, which is, it's Jeff's. For wide receiver, that race is not very close. Justin Jefferson looking like he's breaking away a bit there. Although for tight end, 2nd place is now Hawkinson and Andrews tied.
Wow. Would you take a look at that? Neither of them are coming close to catching Travis Kelce.
No, absolutely not.
When you look at the kickers, Daniel Carlson has a 1-point lead over Tyler Bass and Nick Folk. And in the defense category, it's looking very good for New England. Each of the 2nd and 3rd place are 9 points behind the one in front of them. So there could be some change, but with defense and scoring and how that works, I foresee this probably being the final, unless I don't know how close the team behind San Francisco is.
Yeah, I don't think they're that close. So I think New England's probably going to win this.
Probably.
Yeah, so kicker race still tight. Quarterback race is going to be tight too.
Very tight.
All right, our new Manning pick this week is Peyton, sort of near the bottom right in the Raiders visor, making the face.
Looking a lot like John Gruden himself.
He's looking like a gamer.
The man who is out of football now because he said a lot of things that you can't say. So
he said certain things that you're not supposed to say.
No, you're not supposed to say.
All right. Who are you feeling like today?
Ooh, let's take a look-see here. Oh boy. Come back to me. Who are you feeling?
Peyton eating chicken.
You hungry?
I could eat.
Okay. I'm feeling like the Eli below the new Peyton we just added, just kind of spacing out.
Mm-hmm.
Not all mentally there,
That's how you are sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that's just how you be.
All right, want to roll the outro?
I would love to roll the outro. My goodness. Okay.
My goodness.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for another week of Double L. We will see you back here next week with the recap of round 2 of the playoffs and the preview of both the Shriram Bowl and the Griff Bowl. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Like the video.
You told me to roll the outro. I rolled the outro. No, hold on. Stop the music.
What's up?
You told me to roll the and then you had to get the last word.
Okay, yeah.
Now I get the last word. Everybody comment and call Alex a coward.
If you be my bodyguard.